often. We love to salute great organizations in town, and Stivers, Fort Lincoln, downright proud to salute these organizations as well. And boy, do we have a great one here today, Jackie.
Wonderful.
We have the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation here. We have the Executive Director, Melody Pomerantz, joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Pomerantz, I've never heard that name before.
I know, it's not a very well-known name.
No, not around here at all, is it? No.
No, it's not.
But you are the Executive Director of an organization that really does some wonderful things.
Yeah, cystic fibrosis is a life-threatening genetic disease, and it's a brutal disease. Not that all disease aren't brutal, but it causes severe lung infections, and then eventually it can be respiratory failure. And so it is a disease that mucus fills up in your lungs, and it causes issues with your pancreas, and it's definitely life-threatening, and it affects people like in the 50s. You didn't get to be the age of 5 because you passed away. And so we are making great inroads in this disease. We're finding some new drugs that are helping people. Our organization is trying to find a cure for cystic fibrosis. There is no cure.
Now, there are treatments, and I guess when I think about this, I think of the machine that kind of tries to loosen the phlegm up in the lungs. And we're talking about a life expectancy, is it in the 30s now? We
are inching up into the 40s now. Wow. So that's pretty exciting. There's a whole series of things that they do. The vest, that's the one that people have seen the most, that trying to shake that mucus off the lungs. There are nebulizers, there are enzyme drugs. We had a drug that came out a few years ago that helped about 4% of the population, and just recently we had a great drug breakthrough, and that's what I'm doing, is raising money to find research and drugs that'll save people's lives.
Right.
And so about 40% of the people are being affected by this drug. So it used to be that right now about 75% of the population is diagnosed by the age of 2.
I was just going to ask you, is it something you get when you're younger or older in life?
Well, you can be diagnosed at any age, but it's typically when you're a baby, and then it was undiagnosed for quite some time. But now there are tests, newborn testing, that all babies get, and so they can usually find it at an early age. So these children at this point that are going to be on these drugs and all of these things, they're the ones that are going to have the higher success rates.
Now, Melody, you are very passionate about this. You can tell that. Now, did you have any history involving this, or did you just like the message that they were trying to get out?
I am very fortunate. I'm a mother of 2, and I have children in my 20s. But can you imagine with this disease, if you were 20, that's your midlife age. So I'm really lucky that my children are healthy, and I'm trying to do fundraisers and events that will save people's lives, and we can find a cure.
And this is something where over the course of people's lifetimes, as you said, you can see progress being made in the treatment of it. It's
yes, and we have
a difference.
We have a series of fundraisers. That is one. It's great strides. We have 6 walks around the state of Iowa, and we raise money for that. And we have an event called Shoot for a Cure, and one that's coming up that I'll have to come back and talk about, and that is called the Wine Opener, and that's going to be at Des Moines University on November 6th. Wine and wonderful bites. As you can see on the screen, every day the battle that they have to go through to breathe.
See, that's just it. You're not able to get oxygen into your system, and that is obviously life-threatening.
It is life-threatening. And people with cystic fibrosis look just like you and me, but you could be sitting next to somebody on a plane and they could be going, and you might think they have a cold, but no, they have cystic fibrosis.
Never thought about that.
So what's like a daily routine for them? What's their life like?
Well, as you could see, those children start early in the morning. They have to have treatments, so can you imagine a little baby having to have treatments? So they put like enzymes on their pacifiers, so that's how they can take some of their drugs. But it's a lengthy process. Or a kid that wants to have a sleepover, go to a friend's house for a sleepover, so they have to do all of these treatments in advance of going any place, and several times a day. The amounts of drugs that they have to take to survive, it's just amazing.
And I imagine the cost that goes with that.
The costs are substantial, but the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is here to help people, and so if people have any questions, I think you have my information, and we have CF care centers. We're very lucky in Iowa. We have 3. We have the unit at Unity Point, University of Iowa, and one in Ames, and they so all the people with cystic fibrosis go there, and they're special doctors that help with their treatments.
Wonderful. And the fundraising effort's going well?
Well, we need corporate sponsors for our events.
Okay.
We need volunteers because we have a small office to do a lot of work. So I am happy to take anything that comes our way.
All right, let's show the website so we can get you some help here. We'll show where people can get more information on this. This is pretty simple, cff.org, cff.org, to jump online there and find out all about this.
And then you can go to our website, which is on there, Iowa chapter.
Okay.
And what's the next big event coming up?
It's the wine opener.
It's the wine opener in November.
Right, it's in November, but we are working on great strides for next year. I'm looking for corporate sponsors, and so we're very excited to raise some money and help these people.
Wonderful.
Right. And so people just go to the website, get a hold of you, and then you can sit down and talk with them. Wonderful. Melanie, good to see you.
Thank you very
so
much
for being here.
I really appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Really appreciate
and
it.
Stivers, Ford, Lincoln, Downright.